What up, everyone? This is Dr. Vic here, wanting to share something with you that's going to elevate your mind and understand how the mind works just a little bit. Well, there's been this experiment I've seen before. I've seen a magician do this. I've seen other people do this kind of experiment, and it baffles my mind and how the mind can be tricked in so many ways. And what they do is they have a participant. If you've never seen this, go on YouTube and look at this. And what they'll do is they'll put a participant, they'll be sitting there with both their hands on top of a desk, right? And then the person will instruct them to move their hand around a board and put it on the side. So the person can't see their arm or hand at all. And then they put an imaginary fake hand in front of them that's similar to their skin color. And then what they'll do is they'll cover their shirt over it. So that way it perceives like it's their actual hand, but it's not. And what the instructor will do is they go ahead and take a ruler and they start tapping. They'll touch both the same way. What they're touching your real hand with your fake hand. And what that does is it actually tricks the brain over time to think that the fake hand is actually real. And they'll go through this whole sequence, and then they'll go back and do it again. But this time, the person, whoever it may be, is not touching the real hand. They're just touching the fake hand. And now the brain has perceived to think that's real. And so all of a sudden, now the sensations are happening. So then they start to do a little tapping, and you can see like the hand will actually it'll flinch and move their real hand when they're touching the fake one, hitting it with like a reflex hammer. And then the fun part of this is they take a hammer, they do a little bit of the light touching again. You can see the twitching in the real hand. And then they take the hammer and they slam it real hard on the fake, and the brain perceives to think that's real, and you actually feel pain for a second. And then when you freak out and then you look and you realize it wasn't your hand, as soon as your brain realizes that, then all of a sudden pain symptoms shut off and so forth. So why am I sharing this story with you? Why would I even bring that up? Well, you have to understand that your brain is conditioned to a certain way. Your brain and how you see things, whether you're aware of it or not, is controlling and dictating your life. And so you can, in one way or another, trick your brain to turn on success. You can trick your brain to do these things. But you have to understand the parameters of how that works, because most of the time, what's ends up happening is our subconscious mind leads our life, and limited belief systems lead our life. And these are ways where we kind of think that, when it comes to the power of how powerful your brain can be, I mean, we can literally shift and trick our brain to think a fake hand is our real hand. Okay. This is where I talk a lot about, your what you imagine in your mind, your brain can't tell the difference if that's being real or not. And that's kind of the same perspective here. So when you understand this principle, how can you program your life to be vastly different? How can you program your life to create what it is that you desire? Because the fact is, if you can program your brain to think a fake hand is real within 5 minutes, what the heck do you think you can do with your life in programming your brain to do that, right? And there's parameters, there's rules to this. But we have to go and do the work. Too many times we just listen to something or someone or some aspect and just say, oh, I'm going to just go ahead and do this or do that. And we're a doing culture. We just constantly do. What's the thing I should do, right? Let me show you how I do things so then you can learn to master that. And it's like, instead, how about, because you're going to fall in the blocks. So how about we find what the blocks are? Right? If this is resonating with you, please chime in below. Let me know what's resonating, or throw some hearts or likes out there. But definitely comment below what is something that you're enjoying from this so far. Because at the end of the day, our mind is so powerful, it dictates everything. It all starts there. And so if we can trick our brain to think that a fake hand is real, what can you do in your life to create the reality that you desire? Because now this opens the door to allow the power of imagination. This opens the door to allow the power to heal your body. Yes, heal your body. The way your mindset plays a direct role on your health. Like so many times you hear all these diets out there, right? Everybody's talking about a certain diet to have, a certain diet to do this. Oh, this diet works. Oh, carbs are bad. Carbs are good. This is bad. That's good. Well, guess what? What if I told you it's what you think is good? Simple as that. Because when you understand the principles of the mind, how you dictate what you see it is what's going to be. Okay. And that's why a fake hand, your brain can get tricked into thinking that's real. And when you start to learn these principles, this is when you can all of a sudden step back into your power, be that creator, and choose what you desire. But you have to understand some basic principles of how the neurology works, right? Because your brain only allows in information on what you value. Okay. Can we trick our brain to think, shift our value system so that it can start to see things differently? Absolutely. Can you trick your brain into thinking to imagine what you want to have in your life and how you want to see it from a vision standpoint, to where you can utilize the principles, the law of attraction, the law of vibration, where you can pull in the law of emotions and all these other things that come in, the law of focus, to create your reality? Absolutely. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. But when you focus here, things get easier. I will not say that it's easy, because that's a lie. Everything, you're going to have challenges in life. It's just part of the curriculum right now. But at the same principle, you can make the curriculum easier. You can learn. It's just like you can go through a hard class and you can just go through it and hope that you get through, right? What most people do in life. Or you can hire some, like a tutor, right? Like a coach, and they can help you in that journey to, one, understand it. Number two, speed up faster, right? Because they've been there, they've done that. And when they've been there and done that, guess what? It's easier to teach and get you to rise at that vibration to achieve that. Notice I said vibration, because you can only achieve in your life whatever you're vibing at. I don't care anything else you do. You can do it to the world, but you're going uphill, right? Instead of going with the flow. There's another way. There's always is. And so understanding the mind principle I'm sharing here about the whole brain thinking it's a fake hand and thinking it's its real hand, okay? I love seeing it, because it's just like, here it is, the power of the brain. But there's so many other things that are coming through that are showing how we can do that with our own financial health, with our own personal health, right? In relationships and all these different things. I've done this so many times where even with a mindset perspective, I would say, I'm going to lose this much weight in this much time. And I would just get really deep into mind, and I would visualize and see myself. What does it look like for me to be in that state of where I want to get to? What am I doing? What are the things? How am I being, though? What's my essence, right? And so I started to focus on that. And guess what happened? 45 days later, 50 days later, I got there. One time I challenged myself to lose over 5% body fat within 30 days. Now that's a crazy amount of body fat. And what ended up happening is I lost 5.5% body fat in 33 days. Again, power of the mind. Now, did I do a certain workout? Did I do this? Yes. But it was the mindset, because once you understand these principles, if you go to the mind first, then whatever you do is going to be, it's going to work to a certain degree. As long as the mind's in alignment and everything's all in this process, perfect alignment, that's law of attraction. Now you're manifesting, because you increase the power to manifest. And when you can do that, things come easier. Again, not easy, just easier. So know that you can trick the mind. So my challenge to you is this: if you made it this far in the video, please do me a favor, share below what is one thing you got out of this video. Second thing, I'm going to challenge you to go ahead and start to play a trick on your mind. Imagine and be what it is that you want to have. Now, is it a better relationship? Is it going to be more money, more success in business? You want to have better health? Whatever those things are, I want you to see, what does that look like to you? When you're that, if you want to be healthier, what does health look like to you? Get crystal clear with it and start tricking your mind to start to say, this is what health looks like. This is what this is. This is what a healthy person is going to do, because you're coming from a place of being of healthy, what your essence and your definition of that is. And if you don't have a clear one, or you need help with that, get a coach, get someone who can help you with that process, so they can help create your vision of what you desire. I think too many times in this world today, we're looking for too many cookie cutter processes. We're looking for this do type of mentality. And then we have to get out of that, because I'm not saying those things don't work. I've been in part of programs before that do that too, from a coaching perspective, from a health perspective. It's like, oh, just do this and everything's going to work. And it's like, hold up, there's a reason why things work. And if you understand what I'm sharing with you today, vibrations and so forth, then you'll understand that, well, why is it that it doesn't work for others? Well, they're not doing the work, or they're not doing this. They're not vibing, right? Some people can do it where it's a lot easier, where they don't even have to do as much work and they become successful in it, right? You see that in people with physical health. You'll see that in your own life. Just look at your life really quick and look at areas of your life that are going good. And then look at areas of life where you're like, not really where I want it to be. So I'm challenging you to imagine what it is to be. What does that look like? Define what that looks like. So if it's making more money, if you want to have double your profits, or you want to have them become a millionaire, or you want to have whatever that is, what does that person look like? What is the being of it? What's the definition, right? Once you get there, then you can start focusing on the doing. And now you'll have proper alignment to make things happen easier. This is what I teach in my Manzo mindset course. This is what I teach with my clients. This is how we elevate to the next level, by doing these simple practices. And it's like, some people go, I don't know, you make this seem too easy, or it's too good to be true. I hear that often nowadays. And I'm sitting there going, well, when you understand the laws of how the universe works, All it is like playing a game, and all you have to do is there's certain parameters you got to work on. You can't just know basketball and all the rules to it and be amazing. You got to do some work in that beforehand. So it's one of those principles behind it. But at the end of the day, you get here and you play these tricks and learn the laws of neurology and other things like that, you can start to turn your life around. Don't believe me? There are many people out there. Steve Harvey, Tyler Perry is two that I think of off the top of my head. I've listened to their stories so many times, but there's a gazillion of those stories. How do they transform, right? Muhammad Ali is one of my most favorite ones because he came into the boxing world and he said he's the greatest that there'll ever be. Now, imagine somebody comes out of nowhere. You don't know them. They've barely been in it. They're a rookie and they're telling you, I'm going to be the greatest that there's ever been. You think he's playing a trick on his mind? Do you think now I don't think he actually understood these principles to a certain degree, but he knew how to apply them. He was practical with them because what did Muhammad Ali actually create? He was one of the greatest boxers, if not the greatest boxer of all time. That is trickery to the mind because once you can do that, you can shift it. I'm telling you, if you can trick your brain in 5 minutes to think a fake hand is real and you can actually feel it, I'm talking palpable feeling of that hand, then you can be able to trick your life in your mind to transform the life that you desire. Because this is the essence and this is your birthright, it's in your soul DNA, it's in your physical DNA. This is things that we've been designed to do, but we haven't been taught this. It's been lost in tradition. Maybe I think more by intention. That's a whole nother story. But at the end of the day, when you utilize these principles, this is a game changer to what you can create for your life. So I challenge you, start the being aspect, start to imagine, go back to being a kid, tap into what it is. Don't say what I want to have or what I desire to have. Just say what you like to have. Okay. Because desires and wants, just a little trick here from a psychological standpoint and a law of attraction standpoint. The reason why people say law of attraction doesn't work is because when you say I desire something or I want something, those two things only happen from a state of lack because you usually want what you don't have, right? You want $1 million because you don't have $1 million, but would you like to have $1 million? Different in that conversation creates a difference there. So chime in, please leave a comment, let me know. And if you want help with this, if you're looking to level up in your life, if you're looking to do whatever that may be, if you're in business or not, you're a chiropractor or not, DM me beliefs and we can have a conversation from there. But I appreciate you tuning in as always. Have an amazing, amazing Thursday and I'll talk to you all in the next video.